G'day there, thanks for coming to my channel. Please let me just take a moment to thank the people that are responsible for this channel even existing, my patrons. These guys do more for me than I can ever put into words. Thank you all so much. Man, I cannot believe just how big this screen is getting now. It just totally blows my mind. You guys are nuts, you're insane, and I love yous all. Anyway, it's time for the video, so I hope you enjoy.
Hello, good day. Welcome to this absolute struggle of a bottle episode, thanks to the good old stupid Australian heat wave. So I apologize for the aircon noise in the background. Like, I've tried to quiet it the best I can, because normally I would pre-cool the room, turn it off, and then film, but it is warming up way too quick. So yeah, it's either aircon noises or dead Pocars. Also, full suit. I can't take the tail off on this one. It is sewn onto the bodysuit, so Mr. Taylor's just gonna sit there and join us for the video. Anyway, let's get on to it. The furry fandom is extremely art-driven, with said art sometimes taking on physical forms. Shirts, pins, hats, jackets, shoes, stickers, pillowcases, keychains, and so much more. There is always new stuff popping up. Buying merch from artists is extremely easy, but what if you want to make some yourself? Then allow me to give you the information you will need to get started in your merchandise mission. Originally, I wanted to cover multiple things in this episode, but after writing it, turns out I need an entire episode just about shirts. So there's many different ways to go about shirt printing, but it all really depends on your budget, your purpose, and your design. The simplest and most traditional method is screen printing, which you can even set up at home. Basically, you have this mesh that the ink can be pressed through with your design on there via a blocking stencil, so the ink only comes out in your design and huzzah, you have a print. The biggest advantage with screen printing is you can create a lot of prints very quickly and cost effectively once it's all set up. Which is why if you do screen printing through a company, there can be a bit of a hefty setup fee to begin with. The prints are also crystal clear and will stay on the shirt for a long time to come. I believe a lot of higher agenda shirts are printed this way, and I've been wearing mine to death for over a year and they still look perfect. However, the looming con with screen printing is the more colors you have, the harder, more time consuming, and expensive it's going to be to produce prints. With ink on mesh, you can only press through one color at a time. So to do multiple colors, you need to layer it from the top up. Say you've got like this wolf head design where you've got the white head and then you've got pink on the inside of the ears, eyes, and nose. So you'd have to create two stencils, one that has just the pink bits and one that has just the white bits. So you do the pink first, put that on, take that off, get the white one, line that up, and then put that through. And that's one shirt. This is why most screen printed designs are done in a very minimalist kind of style with only 1 to 4 colors. And because of this extra time and ink required per color, companies will charge you more on a per color basis. Next is direct to garment printing, or DTG for short. This method literally works just like a printer, but it prints on shirts instead of paper. If you've ever bought anything from Redbubble, TeePublic, Artwork, or any other website where it lets you just upload a design and order it, you've got a DTG print. Which is the massive advantage with this method is there is no setup required besides like buying a super duper expensive printer, and you can have as many colors as you want and it won't affect the price. If you want just like a one-off shirt for yourself or for a friend, this is a great way to do it. However, DTG prints aren't quite as crisp looking as other methods can be, and when you look up really close, depending on the quality of the printer, you can see like the tiny little printery dots. While you can print anything you want with DTG, the more gradients and blended colors you have, the worse it's going to look. You want to keep your designs as clear as possible for the best results. Dye sublimation is another choice. It's similar to DTG, how you can print any design with any colors, but it looks a lot clearer, a lot more professional, and it won't peel or crack. This method works by having the design printed through a sublimation printer on special sublimation paper, which is then transferred onto the shirt with a heat press. The coolest thing about this method is you can't feel the design on the shirt because it's dye instead of ink. It's like the material had already come that way. Super duper comfy. This method will only work on lightly colored shirts made of a polyester material because of the crazy sciencey way it works. While your design is on the sublimation paper, the dye is a solid, but once you put that dye under heat, it becomes a gas. The heat also causes the pores in the polyester material to open up, so the gas dye now gets trapped inside all the tiny little open holes in the shirt. So then when the heat comes off, the pores close, the dye becomes solid, and there you go, the design is now on the shirt. Normally a thing is supposed to go solid, liquid, and then gas, but this special dye completely bypasses that liquid stage in this process, which is so cool. It's one of the few things you'll find that can do that. But that's why darkly colored shirts don't work so well. The dye will become bonded to the color of the original shirt and be tinted by whatever it was. I don't have too much experience with shirts printed this way. I have owned a couple before, but after the first few washes I found they started to fade a fair bit. I don't know if it was because of the way it was printed or the way I was washing it, but either way, fading is a possible problem. The last method I'll talk about is the digital thermal transfer method. This is where a special vinyl has a digital image printed on it, then put onto a particular kind of mask film before finally transferred onto a shirt with a heat press. So basically the super duper fancy version of those little iron-on shirt stickers. This process requires some pretty pricey equipment which will usually be reflected in any quotes for them, but man, the quality is absolutely gorgeous. I recently got some shirts done for Midwest Fur Fest by one of our local printers, Burabado, and I was absolutely astounded by how they turned out. Unlike DTG printing, I couldn't see the printer dots no matter how close I held it to my face. Like, it almost looks screen printed. They are at risk of peeling, but luckily you can just iron it back on. It's an easy fix. So to summarize, I've made this handy little list of how I rank each of those methods for accessibility, cost, quality, and durability. Other people's experience may be different to mine, so make sure you do your own research and ask around to get the best idea. But hey, there's a starting point, and there are a few other methods, but these 4 are the ones that I've encountered the most in my experiences. Okay, so before we get to shirt designing, you need to decide whether you want to have shirts made just as you need them, if you want to get a whole bulk lot done all in one go for you to then sell off, or if you want to make them all yourself. Making them yourself will ultimately be the cheapest production method, but there is a lot of buying, setting up, and time needed. Screen printing will probably be the easiest for you to do at home, but there is still that initial needing to get supplies and setting it up. You could buy a direct-to-garment printer as well, because you can make shirts a lot faster and you can use any colors you want, but the good printers are really heckin' expensive. Have a long, careful think before making an investment like this. Be sure to weigh up all your options. I've linked a couple of videos in the description below that show you how to do the various types of at-home printing. So from there you should be able to decide whether you want to give it a go yourself or pay a company to do it instead. Going bulk from a company will be your best bet if you want to have a lot of really nice quality shirts without needing the time to make them yourself, and if you don't want to try and set up an entire shirt printing business in your own house. Just be aware that companies will require you to have a minimum order of shirts to do business with them. From what I've seen, the minimum orders can be anywhere from 50 shirts to 500 shirts. Luckily, the price per shirt will usually go down with the more shirts you order. So say it could be $10 a shirt if you buy 50 of them, but it might be only $2 a shirt if you've bought 500 of them. If you're selling these shirts online, you will have to do all the individual selling and shipping them out to customers yourself. Otherwise, a popular choice is to just go around to conventions and sell them there in person. I actually did this myself once, back in Furdo 2016. I made a design with just one color so that the screen printing costs wouldn't be astronomical, and sold them in the dealer's den. I didn't sell all of them, but I did break even, so I was pretty happy with that. But that's the other problem when getting bulk shirts. If they're not flying out the door, it's really hard to tell how many shirts you need and in what sizes. You don't want to spend $500 on 150 shirts and then only sell 10 of them. Like, losing your investment is always a scary looming factor. A good way to go about this is to offer pre-orders for your shirts. Not only will you have a good idea on numbers, but you'll have some extra money to help you afford that upfront bulk cost. If you prefer to have the shirts made as you need them, then you're going to want to go with a print-on-demand website such as Artwork or Redbubble. You are limited on your printing methods. Pretty much all of them are going to be DTG, and the websites will take a cut of the profits for the amount of time and effort it's saving you. But you can definitely still make some money yourself with the right design and the right marketing. These websites will also usually have a huge range of other items you can print your design on, such as leggings, mugs, tuners, phone cases, and even clocks. As a bonus, Redbubble has printing and mailing locations all around the world, so it's extremely accessible for a lot of people. And the prints are definitely still pretty good quality. It is hard to make like a business level of profit this way, but hey, extra pocket money. Now comes the fun part, the design of the shirt itself. As long as you keep your printing method in mind, let your imagination run wild. You could do a simple phrase on a shirt design, or maybe a cool minimalist picture of your persona, or perhaps a promotion for your social media. Maybe you even already have some artwork that you could use. However, if you didn't make the artwork yourself, please make sure you get permission from the original artist to use it. Most artists will not want someone profiting off their artwork without their permission, even if it's your character and you paid for the commission. Offer some sort of royalty to the artist, whether it's a percentage of sales, a couple of free shirts, or just a lump sum. Some may require that royalty, some might not, but you still need to go run it by them. Even if it's just a one-off print for yourself, because the print company is then making profit off their work. So please run it by the artist just to be safe. Be careful using copyrighted characters from games and movies, because they will often be taken down from sites like Redbubble with a copyright claim. And please do not use someone else's character or persona without their permission. Like, you might have an epic idea for a Majira shirt, or even a Stormy shirt, or a shirt of me, but you're still gonna need to run it by us. Otherwise, it's extremely inconsiderate, and you're profiting off our likeness without our permission. That is not cool at all. Contact whoever it is you want to use, do some negotiating, and be prepared to pay some kind of royalty for that as well. If you don't want to make the artwork yourself, you can go and commission something. But be sure to tell the artist of your intentions, because 1, they might not want to do it, 2, they may need to charge you differently, and 3, they can make the design with a shirt in mind. Now this next bit should go without saying, but don't trace someone else's artwork or steal someone else's shirt design for your own shirts. Kiba and I have been the victims of both. You can put your own spin on someone else's shirt, but be sure to go and ask the original designer if it's okay. I've done that before when it's a shirt that's based around a particular phrase. I'll go and ask the designer if they're okay with me using their phrase, which they usually are, as long as the shirt still looks completely different. Nobody gets mad, everyone is happy, and there's a lot less drama down the road. The last thing I want to mention though is the companies themselves. Shirt printing companies tend to be pretty regional, so I can't really recommend someone to all of you because you're all in different parts of the world. The best way to find a shirt printing company is either word of mouth or just literally Google it. Just be like, Screen Printing Ottawa, or D.I.Y Sublimation Ohio. Like, that's all you have to do. You can also find an artist selling shirts and ask them where they get theirs printed from, but be prepared for them to not want to tell you. They may want to keep their company as a trade secret, and that's okay. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I know and could fit into a video about shirts. If you know anything else important that you'd like to share with the world, please do leave it for us in the comments below. Or if you have any questions about it, leave those in the comments as well. And yeah, I wish you luck in your shirt making endeavors. I will see you next week for some more merchandise making advice. Okie dokie, I'll see you later.